The fitness industry loves to tell us that there is only one single correct way to move, and if you deviate from that movement, you are now at risk of getting hurt. But our bodies aren't that fragile. Our backs are supposed to bend, our knees are supposed to go over our toes. These aren't mistakes, they are movement strategies. The key isn't to avoid them, it's to build strength and tolerance to those positions. Because your body is not fragile, it is adaptable. Imagine picking something up off the floor. Your back has to bend in order to complete that movement. There is no other way around it. Now, I know this is contrary to what a lot of people believe, that you must have a neutral, rigid spine when lifting something, but it's just not realistic for many scenarios. So if you can only lift with a neutral spine, how are you ever going to lift something from the floor? It's not feasible. How could you even tie your shoes without bending your back? Some people would say that this is because, well, you're not lifting a weight, you're simply bending forward. But at the same time, your spine is still supporting the weight of your upper body. All that changed is the amount of weight. Now, given this information, if you can train your body to handle more and more weight, now you have adapted and improved your spine strength so that you can lift with a curved spine. Another position which is often blamed for injuries is the knees moving past the toes. Now, if this were inherently dangerous, how is it that you go up and down stairs? If you don't believe me, go try it yourself. As you descend, your knee has to move past your toes for a specific reason. When the knee moves forward, we are biasing the quadriceps, meaning that it is controlling the descent as you go down. Without letting the knee move past the toes, this is now simply a hip dominant motion and very unnatural at that. Avoiding this position isn't going to protect your knees. All it's going to do is leave you with weaker quadriceps, meaning you are now unprepared whenever you encounter that position. Another knee movement that is even more contentious than the last is valgus, or the knees caving inward. Even this has a specific function in human movement. When you watch an athlete who is running quickly and they try and change direction or do a cut, you will notice some degree of that valgus. Now, this happens for a couple of reasons. Number one, your hip adductors are helping extend the hip, and that will naturally pull the knee inward slightly. And then number two, as the femur moves inward and rotates inward, this is stretching your glutes a little bit, meaning that they are now in an even better position to contribute to that cut. So the result of a little bit of valgus is a quicker, more athletic movement. Of course, it's different in a trained athlete versus an untrained individual who has valgus as a compensation for significant weakness. Notice the pattern here. All of these movements are simply solutions to problems by using naturally occurring movement. I'll give you one more example that nearly everybody has, and that is a butt wink with a squat. Now, at some point, we hit our maximum depth in terms of hip mobility. At that point, your pelvis will tilt and your low back will round slightly. Is it a problem, or is it simply the body adjusting things to get a little more motion for a deeper squat? Because many people do think that this is a problem because they've deviated from that neutral spine, they will limit their depth, meaning they are now limiting their joint mobility and their strength through that mobility. What we need to understand is that injuries never happen because of a single position. They happen because the load in that position is beyond what your body can tolerate. Instead of trying to avoid movements, build strength and adapt to those positions so that you can better handle them. Because at some point in your life, you will find yourself with a bent back, your knees over your toes, knees caving inward. It's when you can't handle that stress, that is when an injury will happen. Your body isn't fragile, it is adaptable, and that adaptability works two ways here. You can either train and move in these normal positions so that when you find yourself in them, you are better suited to handle that, or you avoid them and one day find yourself in trouble.